Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Quit chewing on those plastic water bottle caps. That's kind of one of my big vices, you know? 9:02, happy Tuesday to all of you. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show on RiverBender.com, Roku TV, and anywhere and everywhere you get this podcast. Thanks for hanging out with me. We got a good show for all of you. We're going to be talking to Evelyn King coming up this Saturday. We were talking just a few weeks ago, and Evelyn said, hey, stay tuned because a book signing and a book release is going to be coming down the pipeline. It's here. And we're going to be talking to Evelyn about that book signing on the 13th on a Saturday at Haskell Playhouse. Then coming up, at 10:10, we're talking to the Center for American Archaeology. They have a really cool Wildclay Ceramics Workshop coming up, and we're going to get all the details with Kathryn Chapman. Then 10:35 rolls around the corner, and Taralei Griffin will join us in the studio, and we'll get all of her insights on some news going on in the cannabis industry and in the cannabis world, and we'll get the latest from some new laws being passed and just her insights too. All that comes down the pipeline in the next 2 hours. But while I have you, make sure you sign up for your daily email update and join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend. We'll take you to Alton first. Rick Fasten is being remembered today as a man deeply committed to his community and his county. Known for his warm personality and ever-present smile, Fasten, a respected county auditor, garnered significant accolades over his extensive career. State's Attorney Tom Hain expressed shock at Fasten's sudden passing, highlighting his long-standing public service and strong Catholic faith. Friends and colleagues, including former Alton Mayor Brant Walker and Mike Drake, praised Fasten's generosity, professionalism, and his unwavering dedication. Fasten's legacy as a dedicated public servant and cherished community member will be fondly remembered by many. Also in the news today, Braden Coles, a Marquette Catholic graduate, is striving for a chance to join the ball crew for the 2024 MLB All-Star Game at Globe Life Field in Arlington. On July the 26th, fans can vote for Coles until tomorrow, July 10th. Currently, Coles works as a clubhouse attendant and bat boy for the Tampa Bay Rays, a role that demonstrates his dedication to baseball. A standout athlete and student, Coles follows in his father's footsteps, who held a similar job with the Yankees. Coles describes his current role as, quote, living the dream, end quote, and is hopeful for enough votes to secure this unique opportunity. Two individuals in Jersey County have been charged in separate cases with drug possession, burglary, and other offenses. Matthew Leffler, 52, of Jerseyville, is facing a Class 3 felony for allegedly entering a truck without permission at Jersey Community Hospital on June the 17th. Leffler has been granted pretrial release with a preliminary hearing set for July the 16th. In an unrelated case, Danny Copeland, 47, of Jerseyville, was charged with unlawful possession of methamphetamine and driving on a suspended license. Copeland was found with less than 5 grams of meth, and the hearing is set on July the 16th. The historic National Eucharistic Pilgrimage is set to pass through Alton this morning. It's happening right now as we speak, with Sydney Sinks on hand to get some videos and some more information for us. And Sister Beata Ziegler of OSF shared that the Blessed Sacrament has journeyed from all corners of the United States since May, converging in Indianapolis for the National Eucharistic Congress later this month. Today's procession begins with an 8 a.m. Mass at St. Peter's and Paul Parish, followed by a benediction at St. Francis Convent Chapel. Community members are encouraged to join and pray, showcasing national unity and faith. Also in the news today, the Alton City Council has unanimously approved nearly $1 million in improvements for the Alton Marina, addressing critical safety and structural concerns. The $958,000 project will focus on decking and bracing restoration, with concrete replacing the deteriorating wood decking. Marina manager Rob Honke emphasized the urgency, noting the hazards like bowing and splintering wood. Harbor Master Greg Brown highlighted the marina's economic and tourism significance, citing events like the Alton Midwest Nationals Formula One powerboat race. The project, awarded to Stutz Excavating Inc., will be funded through hotel food beverage taxes and ARPA funds and is expected to take about a year to complete. That's a look at what's happening around the River Bend on this 9th day of July. It's a Tuesday in downtown Alton. Before I take a quick break, let's take a look at your weather forecast for the day. Currently, as it sits, there is a flood watch that has been issued until July 10th tomorrow at 4 a.m. Flooding caused by excessive rainfall continues to be possible in portions of Illinois, and pretty much the entire Riverbend coverage map is highlighted in this flood alert. Rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are expected in the watch area, with locally heavier amounts which will lead to flash flooding along with rises along local rivers. Man, they kind of wrote that weird. So just stay up to date and in the know on that. Today, periods of rain, some will be heavy from tropical rainstorm barrel, and then tonight from tropical rainstorm barrel. This evening, cloudy, breezy, late. There can be flooding in some areas. The air quality today is ranked as good. Grass is low, mold is low, ragweed low, tree levels are low, and the UV index is at 2. Rain throughout the day today, a high of 72 degrees, a low of 65. On Wednesday, a high of 84, a low of 65 degrees, an 85% chance of rain on Wednesday. On Thursday, a 40% chance of rain, a high of 84, a low of 66, and on Friday, a high of 87 degrees, a low of 70, with another 40% chance of rain in the forecast for Friday. On Saturday, it starts to warm up a bit. We're reaching 90 degrees on Saturday for the high and 68 for the low temperatures. For time and temperature throughout the day, you give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and return home. Hey, before we take a quick break and we throw it to Skycam and we get Evelyn in the studio and start having our, off to the running 9 o'clock hour with some great guests and conversations, I want to make sure that you all know about Centerstone. This has been a great program for us, a great partnership, and it's one that I really kind of hold to a higher standard, and here's why. So many times in life, we always know of somebody in our families, maybe our friend's family, maybe our best friend that's going through struggles. And it's always best to know the information before you need to know it. So if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible. And it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you based on the latest science. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be that constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anybody, but the good thing is, so can recovery. So start working towards your recovery today by visiting Centerstone online at recoverwithus.org, recoverwithus.org, or by calling 1-877-HOPE 123. Before we talk to Evelyn King, let's just send you to Skycam. Take a look at downtown Alton on this rainy Tuesday, and I'll see you right after a quick break on RiverBender.com and on Roku TV.
Under my feet, I feel the sky come rolling down. Come No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. There you go. You see it on your screen. 9:15. Welcome back. Hey, we're going to talk to Evelyn here in about 5 minutes or so, but while I have you, wanted to make sure you guys saw this. We're doing a live show on Saturday, and, I always do a good job of promoting everyone else, but I always forget to tell you about when these live shows are, so you can come by, say hi, hang out, just like you guys did for the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, and just have fun. That's what it's all about, right, on Saturday. we're going to be over at Cat Daddy's right across the street on Friday and Saturday. Both days is Cat Daddy's retirement party. Such a big deal, and I mean it, especially in downtown. I mean, it's pretty an icon's leaving, or is retiring, not leaving, but just retiring. And so this is a big deal. I'm excited to be a part of it. I was so glad whenever I was asked to do it, and we're really looking forward to it. So if you have the opportunity on Friday or Saturday to go on down and kind of give an old salute and a send off to Cat Daddy, go ahead. And if you are on top of that, 4 to 6, come hang out during the live show and hear some great stories and just be a part of that atmosphere. And we'll keep you updated with that live link and where you can find that on demand after the show's done. But wanted to make sure that you guys all knew about that. On Saturdays, the 13th of July, from 4 to 6 p.m., we're going to be doing a live broadcast from the Cat Daddy's retirement party. You're invited. Everyone's invited on Friday and Saturday, both days from 3 until you're ready to leave, 3 p.m. until you're ready to leave. Go by Cat Daddy's, enjoy just some really good stories, enjoy some great people, and send an icon into retirement in all seriousness. And I'm just so excited. So mark your calendars. Wanted to make sure you had that information in front of you, and looking forward to it. On Saturday, hey, while I have you too, I forgot to talk about this in top of the hour news, but registration is open for this year's 16th annual Miles for Meso 5K run and 3K fun run walk. And just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware about this. The in-person and virtual event with proceeds to benefit the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization will take place Saturday, September 21st, just prior to National Mesothelioma Awareness Day on September 26th. It's an honor to once again host the Alton Miles for Meso 5K run and 3K fun run walk to benefit the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization and support people affected by mesothelioma, says Chairman of Simmons, Hanley & Conroy, John Simmons. The event was first held in 2009, and Miles for Meso has raised more than $925,000, including $35,000 from last year's Alton event. The largest independent asbestos victims organization in the United States, the ADAO, uses the funds to give a united voice to asbestos victims and concerned citizens, raise public awareness about the dangers of exposure, and work toward a global asbestos ban. So we wanted to make sure so many of you participate in that race. The race registration fee is $35 until August the 23rd, and then August 24th through September the 6th, it will be $40, and then $45 if you register September the 7th through the 13th and or on the day of the event. Registrants will receive a race packet containing a long-sleeve moisture-wicking t-shirt, a 16th annual participation medal, and more. Wanted to make sure you guys were all aware about that, but at 9:19, let me do this. Hey, what are you doing today? It's a rainy Tuesday. If you're off today, you know what'd be better? Either cracking up in a cold one sitting on your couch, or let me just kind of trump this one up for you here. Getting you a pack of pre-rolls and an edible over there at Village Dispensary. They're truly the best. I love going over there, and they're one of our greatest supporters here in our daily show, and we can't wait to start our segments with Village, where they're going to come on twice a month, whenever they want, really, and just educate us and fill us in on one of the largest inventories in the region, in the Village of Godfrey. You got to head on over to Village Dispensary, locally owned, union built, and what I think's great is when you walk in the door, everyone knows you. You just have that kind of warm atmosphere, right? And the line's moving. You aren't sitting there for 10, 15 minutes kind of going, all right, well, I kind of have to go to get my hair cut. I kind of got to go do this. Maybe I come back later. No, they get you in and out. And what I think's cool is if you're new to the cannabis experience, if you've never maybe partook, hey, they got you covered. They're going to set you aside over there at the consultation area. They're going to sit you down for as ever long you like. They'll educate you on the ins and outs of cannabis, what would work for you, what you're interested in, and they'll make sure that you feel confident when you're making that purchase, because it really is all about that Village mentality where everyone's kind of got your back at Village Dispensary. And with one of the largest inventory selections in the area, I'm telling you what, you can't go wrong. Go to villagedispo.com right now, click on their inventory, make sure you're 21, and just find out what is waiting for you. You don't know why? Because I I used to be a little bit of a dispensary tourist, if you would call it that, and I've gone to a few of them. And what I think's great is that when I go in there, it's not a bunch of junk. It's an inventory and a selection that is full of top line products like dog walkers, Aero brands, Verano, you name it. I mean, this is good quality stuff, and it's rating for you right over there at Village Dispensary. Go to villagedispo.com today. That's villagedispo.com, and don't forget to tell them you know who sent you over their way, because it's a joint effort. 9:21, we'll take a quick break. Evelyn King joins us next.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry.
Talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Welcome back. 9:23, a little bit of change on this Tuesday morning. Evelyn King back in studio. You told us book signing was coming up. Now, did you expect it to be that quick of a turnaround?
So I knew that we were planning one for the 13th. We weren't ready to say anything because we weren't sure if the books were going to be like printed in time. And then my proof copy came. It was good. I was like, actually, no, we are 100% good for the 13th. Cool. So let's go ahead and do it. And then I actually had a little bit of a scare where I was like, oh, I don't know that the 13th is going to be able to work because my book would not fully approve through the system. So I had to redo the cover a few times. I had to resize all of the pages, move all of the pictures around. And I was like, oh no, we're screwed. But it worked. We got it. So it's the 13th.
Now, 13th, what time?
10 a.m. Story time starts at 10:15. I will be reading the book to the kids and then signing afterward.
This is really cool. And I saw that Henry the Kitty is going to be available for purchase.
Yes. Yeah. That's, we have gone through 3 versions of Henry the Kitty because I used to sew when I was a little kid. I was like obsessed with sewing, but I haven't done it since. And so our first attempt at making Henry the Kitty, he was kind of like in 3 pieces.
Yeah.
And then his stomach ripped open.
Oh no.
And so we were like, ooh, that's not good. We can't hand children a partially like decapitated stuffed animal.
That's true.
So then we finally just like made our own design, and I was like, oh, I can sew these for sure. And the goal was to get 65 done by the 13th. That is still in the works. It took me 2 hours to sew one, and then I started to like really, really get the hang of it. And now, thankfully, my mom, my mother-in-law, and one of my mother-in-law's best friends are taking it over from me.
Well, that's good.
So they'll be done, which is Very exciting.
Well, this is awesome. So you're going to be reading at 10:15, correct?
Yes.
And now books and hand-sewn Henry the Kitty's going to be on hand. And then make sure you guys know that 40% of the proceeds are divided amongst few organizations. Which ones are those again?
The Haskell Foundation, Hainer Library, Jacoby Arts Center, and the Alton Area Landmarks Association.
That's right. And you already sent out your first check, didn't you?
Yeah. So I have... It's actually insane, and I cried about it all weekend. I started pre-orders one day last week just to help people make sure that they get their copies, and within 24 hours the book was a #1 bestseller for children's American history books, and we raised $300 for the organizations. So I was able to divide out that money, get those donations put in, and yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome. And what's the feelings been like for you lately? Just because, everyone really kind of has gotten behind this, especially on Facebook, and the Playhouse has just been wonderful. And what are your thoughts just going forward?
I don't know. It's very surreal. I keep saying that I'm just extremely overwhelmed. There was one day I took my daughter up to the park, and this City of Alton truck pulled behind me, rolled down his window, and he was like, "Oh my God, I watched your interview, and I'm so excited about the book, congratulations." And I was like, who are you talking to? Oh, me, oh my God. And, I've had people recognize me at work, and I'm just a bartender at Fox.
Right.
And people are like, "Oh my God, you're writing the book." Or I've had people talk about the book not knowing who I am.
Yep.
And so I'm like, this is... It's I can't fully wrap my mind around it.
So it's been a good couple of weeks.
Yeah, a very, very good couple of weeks for sure.
So take me through all the work that went in just to getting the book release and signing going, because even though it seems like a simple event, book signing, all that, I'm sure there's ins and outs of this, of making sure everything's laid out the right way, everything flows in a streamlined process.
Yeah.
What did that look like?
So once the book was finalized, I've been working with Ann Hamilton, who also sits on the Haskell Foundation board. Thankfully, she has done multiple book signings with authors before, because she used to be a librarian. So if it weren't for her, I don't think the book signing would be as organized or as well thought out if it were up to me, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, the experience is a huge thing.
Yeah. So we've been going back and forth, kind of planning, what it'll look like, what will be present, different little tasks that we're each taking on, decoration-wise, so on and so forth. I've been ordering books every single day. I think last night I counted and I had 70 something sitting on my floor in my foyer, and I have 17 more coming today and tomorrow. So it's just ordering and then organizing. I have orders to ship out of state, which is really, really exciting.
Wow.
Packing the pre-orders, wrapping them up so people can pick them up at the signing. It's a lot of chaos.
I could only imagine, especially because, like you said, you're kind of new, especially with the signing part of it, gosh dang, that'd be a lot for anybody to and thank goodness you got a team around you too.
Yeah, because if it were up to me, I think, I consider myself a pessimistic optimist.
Yeah, same here.
Which just means that I am a pessimist.
Yeah.
But I kind of go into everything expecting the worst, because if I go in with low expectations, it can only go up from there.
Right.
But if it were just me, I would probably freak out and cry and be like, you know what, no one's going to show up to this signing, therefore I don't know what to do, therefore I can't do it, because I would just get too in my own head. So I'm very, very fortunate to have so many people that know what they're doing and are rallying around it.
But you did it the right way with this, the book, the entire book. I mean, with the donations and everything else, but really just who you had kind of a part of it. With the cover that Ben did was fantastic.
Oh,
you
my God,
couldn't have had a better cover for this. And then Shannon did a fantastic job from what I heard from all accounts on these illustrations.
Yeah, they are. I'm so grateful for Ben and Shannon, because they really if it were not for them, I don't think the book would happen. Mm-hmm. And I never even would have continued to try to make the book happen, because I can't, and like I said, 2 weeks ago when I was here, I can't draw. So you can't have a children's book without drawings. It can't just be 3 sentences on a page that's blank. So if it weren't for them, that this wouldn't happen.
It's just really cool. And for the folks that maybe haven't heard the synopsis, Genevieve lives in Alton. And it's in the modern era. Her favorite place to visit is, of course, Haskell Park, and a very old park dedicated to a Victorian-era girl named Lucy Haskell, who once lived there, whose playhouse still stands today. And after Genevieve's mom explains that she can't play with Lucy's toys, a bedtime story turns into a magical trip in the playhouse with Lucy. That's fun.
Yeah.
So, how did when you were writing this, was it hard for you to kind of not go too in depth in the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was way difficult because I'm a very thorough. I'm big on imagery, and I'm big on using a lot of words and very long sentences, and kids can't do that. Like, my standard writing level is somewhere in the college level, and I had to use an app to check it every so often to make sure that I was more in the 2nd to 3rd grade level. So it was difficult to not over explain things to kids or explain things in a way that would go way over their head, but also I wanted to tell the story of Lucy, but you can't tell 2nd graders that a 9-year-old died of black diphtheria.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make them really upset.
Right.
So you can't say that. So it was challenging, but I think it came out well.
Well, that's the thing, because I knew that would have to be a difficult portion of that, because the story itself is such a unique one and such a good one to grab onto. I really I could easily see that being a little bit difficult, but it seems like you kicked ass, Evelyn.
Thanks. Yeah. I really tried to just drive in, we don't mention Lucy's death or anything. If anyone was worried about that, we don't talk about kids dying.
Rated G.
Yes, entirely. But the main point is there's a page in there that Genevieve says oh, well, it's because your story is important. And Lucy says, well, your story is important too, Genevieve. So it's more focused on that aspect of Lucy's history and her impact to Alton.
That's so cool. Well, and now from 10 a.m. to noon, this is when it runs. And now after you read the story, is there going to be just time to kind of sit there, sign those books, and then just have some conversations?
Yeah. There will be a table available for purchasing the books and Henry. If anyone has a pre-order, they'll pick up their pre-order. And I believe what we're doing is the kids will get a little sticky note to write down what they want me to write in their book. And then they'll bring that to me, and we'll talk, and I'll sign it and kind of do all that.
So now you have another signing coming up too, don't you?
Yes, I will also be at Lucy's Playhouse. No.
We're already going there.
Of course I will be
there.
there.
We're going there.
Oh, dude,
You're going to, where are we going here?
It'll be on Lucy's birthday party.
Yeah,
July
okay.
29th, 6:30 to 8 at the Playhouse. Yes, I just chugged my coffee in my car right before I walked in.
No, it's all good. Trust me, I'm still waking up here. It's been a long morning. But wanted to make sure that you all were aware of that, and at the birthday party, we heard Margaret talking about it yesterday. Pony rides and cake and ice cream cake, ice cream, lemonade.
Cake, ice cream, lemonade, Victorian era games.
You can't go wrong.
They've been doing that since I was a kid, and I remember it was the best day of the year.
And that's what I think is cool with this, though. Everyone is I was talking with Margaret and Debbie about this yesterday, and I said, to get really some younger people involved and just excited about some of these really great gyms that we have in the community, that's what keeps us growing,
Yeah.
Is really having that moral support and that kind of boost in the sales, and it's cool.
Yeah, it is. I've seen people sharing the posts about the book the last 2 weeks, saying go support this, go check out the signing, keep this landmark alive. And I'm I've never seen you up at Haskell Park. This is funny, but also really, really cool to see people who otherwise don't really talk about Alton or Alton's history say please support this mission, please support this park. And I think that's what I set out to do.
Yeah, and
that was my point.
By the way, on July 30th, I haven't forgotten about you at home. $50 donations to celebrate the 50th year of the Playhouse being on the National Historic Registry. I came up with that on the fly yesterday.
I watched it yesterday.
I was proud of myself. Now I just need someone to do it on the 30th. That way I can feel really good about things. I wanted to ask you about pre-orders too, because I know that you put out a little bit of a post out just in case maybe folks can't get to Haskell on Saturday. how can they pre-order this book?
So today is the last day for pre-orders to get in time for Saturday.
Okay.
But if they want to pre-order for the 29th, they definitely can. They just message my Facebook page, Evelyn King author. Tell me if they want, how many books, if they want Henry the Kitty, and then we'll organize payment and I will order it and we'll figure out delivery.
Can they buy it any time after?
It will officially be for sale on Saturday.
Okay.
They'll be able to order it online or continue to order it through me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really cool. And I just think it's really cool. And then prices, $15?
Yes, the book is $15. Henry the Kitty is $7. Henry with the book is $20. And if people want to, whenever they order a book, they also have an option. If they order it directly from me, they have an option to buy one, give one, where I'll order a second copy that they can tell me where they want to give it to, be it like West Elementary or East Elementary or like the library, wherever.
How cool would it be, though? In all seriousness, and I don't know, obviously I don't know what your plans are for your little one that's growing up and where they're going to school, but could you imagine how cool it would be in, second grade, she's over there in the library and sees that damn book?
Don't make me cry.
I mean, come on.
Don't make me cry.
But, that's what I think's so cool is, this kind of project turned into something a lot bigger than the book.
It really did. That's, I've been... Like I said, I've been crying over it all week because it's just like...
It's just incredible.
It's insane. Like it's everything that I hoped would happen, but everything that I also didn't think would happen.
Well, and it makes me feel really good about because that's what the show's about, everyone, is community. And the fact that, you have people all over your Facebook just jumping on this, but the guy that stops and says, I watched your interview, and it's great and we got to do this. It's those things that just go a long way and really define community. And coming up on Saturday on the 13th, 10 a.m. until noon?
Yes.
Long morning, Evelyn. It was a long morning. 10 a.m. until noon, and just an opportunity at 10:15 to listen to the story getting read by you, and then there will be books for sale. Henry the Kitty for sale. Is the bundle available that day?
Yep.
Ooh, there you go. What are you even worried about? You go up there on Saturday to see Evelyn, and you'll be there until noon signing books and talking to folks.
Yes. Yep.
Any other minute? And am I forgetting about anything?
No, I think we got it.
Wow.
I think we did it.
Wow, that was a pretty... in and out,
I'm
like
proud.
The CIA, and then cause a war somewhere else. But we'll take a quick break here at 9:38, and we'll come back and wrap up the 9 o'clock hour. And just best of luck. Keep kicking ass, taking names, Evelyn.
Well, thank you.
Daily Show on a Tuesday hits you next, right after this on RiverBender.com.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports. Conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back. 9:43, a little bit of change. Evelyn is just awesome. I'm so glad to hear that that book is just doing as well as it can be. And just, it's such a cool thing. And, you know, when you can really just hear a story about a community that, really just a community book. I mean, so many, the cover by Ben and Shannon doing some great illustrations, Evelyn with some wonderful writing, and, that connection, and with Lucy Haskell Playhouse. I just love it. I mean, honestly, chef's kiss to the Genevieve and the Magic Haskell Playhouse book. That's how it's done. And then all the donations coming into just put a big old smile on my face. Hey, while I have you, let's take a look at what happened on this date in history while we have time. We're going to be doing our first phone interview in a really long time, and just bear with me here because I never do these anymore, but we had a little bit of an issue with a guest kind of getting a little bit delayed by some travel disruptions, so we're going to do a phone-in for the first time in a while, and we'll see how this one goes. But on July the 9th, 1877, on this date in history, the All England Croquet and Lawn Tennis Club begins its first lawn tennis tournament at Wimbledon. Then, an outer suburb of London, 21 amateurs showed up to compete in the gentlemen's singles tournament, the only event at the first Wimbledon, and the winner was to take home a 25 guinea trophy. So there you go. On this date in history, the Wimbledon tournament begins in 1877. Also, on this date in 1777, New York elects Brigadier, I always get this thing wrong, George Clinton as the first governor of the independent state of New York. Clinton would go on to become New York's longest-serving governor. So New York elects its first governor in 1777. Also, on this date in history, in 1960, Khrushchev and Eisenhower were trading verbal threats over the future of Cuba. In the following years, Cuba became a dangerous focus in the Cold War competition between the United States and Russia. Also on this date in history, Zachary Taylor, the 12th president of the United States, dies on this date suddenly from an attack of chorea morbus. He was then succeeded by Millard Fillmore. That happened in the year 1850. Also, On this date in 2008, man, The Real World, Hollywood, a reality television show about 7 young adults selected to live together, airs on MTV, but MTV's The Real World left Hollywood on this date in 2008. There you go. On this date in 1962, Bob Dylan records Blowin' in the Wind, and pretty good song. On this date in 1948, 42-year-old Leroy Satchel Paige pitches 2 innings for the Cleveland Indians in his debut with the newly and barely integrated American League. That happened on this date in 1948. One final one for you. In 1971, the United States turns over the responsibility for the DMZ, 4 miles south of the DMZ. About 500 U.S. troops from the 1st Brigade and 5th Mechanized Division turn over Firebase Charlie 2 to Saigon troops, completing the transfer of defense responsibilities for the border area in 1971 during the Vietnam War. And there you go. Not a lot happens on the 8th and 9th. You know, yesterday was really light, too. I was kind of bummed out by that one. But while I have you, you know, I always like talking about music history. I think that's interesting. And we still got a couple of minutes until our next interview, so I can chat away. On this date in music history in 2011, former Led Zeppelin frontman Robert Plant joined 3 local musicians at a fundraising charity show in Monmouth, Wales, where ticket costs £3. The event was a tribute to his friend, former Led Zeppelin producer Pat Moran, who died of a rare dementia in January. Plant delighted the small crowd with songs from his Led Zeppelin days as well as tunes from his solo career. In 2010, during a Santana concert, guitarist Carlos Santana proposed to his girlfriend, Cindy Blackman, who had just finished a drum solo during the band's set. This happened in Tinley Park at First Midwest Bank Amphitheater. The couple married in December of 2010, the same year. That's pretty cool. Also on this date in music, in 1999, Elton John had a pacemaker fitted in an operation at a London hospital following reports about his ill health. Sir Elton was forced to cancel a series of shows due to it. That happened on this date in 1999. In 1995, this is a big one. The Grateful Dead gave their last concert with leader Jerry Garcia at Chicago's Soldier Field. Jerry Garcia would die of a heart attack a month later while in drug rehab. In 1988, Cheap Trick, they were just in town, went to #1 on the U.S. charts with the power ballad The Flame, the group's only U.S. #1, and it also reached #1 status in Australia and in Canada. In 1983, the Police started an 8-week run at #1 with 1983, the Police, I'll give you a couple seconds. Every Breath You Take. Also, #1 in the UK, it was taken from the band's album Synchronicity. Oh, man, I always get that one wrong, too. A lot of bad words today. Sting won Song of the Year, and the Police won Best Pop Performance for the song at the 1984 Grammy Awards. Wham! Were at #1 in 1983 with the debut release, Fantastic. They were at #1 on the UK album chart and went on to spend 116 weeks on that chart. On this date in 1977, Elvis Costello quit his day job as a computer programmer at Elizabeth Arden Cosmetics to become a full-time musician. That happened on this date in 1977. In 1972, Paul McCartney and Wings kicked off their first European tour in a small French town of Lewis. The band included Denny Lane, Denny Sywell, Henry McCullough, and Paul's wife Linda. It was McCartney's first time on the road since the Beatles quit touring in 1966. The band traveled on a double-decker London bus with a psychedelic interior. That's pretty cool. On this date in 1972. On this date in 1965, Otis Redding started recording sessions at Stax Studio in Memphis, Tennessee for what would become his third studio album, Otis Blue. The album mainly consists of cover versions of other R&B and soul artist hits, and bar one track was recorded in a 24-hour period. According to the drummer Al Jackson, Redding wrote Respect after a conversation they had during a break in the recording section. He told Redding, "You're on the road all the time. All you can look for is a little respect when you come home." Also, on this date in 1958, Johnny Cash signed with Columbia Records, where he would remain for 30 years, releasing over 60 albums. In 1956, Bill Haley and the Comets were at number 1 with Rock Around the Clock, and they were staying at number 1 for 8 weeks, becoming the biggest selling singles, one of the biggest selling singles of all time. In 1956, Bill Haley and his Comets, though, were denied permission to play at the Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City. An ordinance from the city was passed that read, "Rock and roll music encouraged juvenile delinquency and inspired young females in lewd bathing suits to perform obscene dances on the city's beaches." So they were told no in 1956. In 1954, one final one for you. Blue Moon of Kentucky was recorded by Elvis at Sun Studio, the B-side of That's All Right. And That's All Right was recorded 4 days earlier. Bored on this date? Anyone good? Oh, Jack White, American singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and producer. Jack White with the White Stripes. He had the 2003 UK #1 album, Elephant, which spent 46 weeks on the chart. White is also a member of the Raconteurs and the Dead Weather. The 3 of his solo albums have reached #1 on the Billboard charts. It's Courtney Love's birthday today, but I don't think too many people care. Yeah, that about do it. There you go. Born on this date in history, man, the 9th of July is kind of a dud, you know? Hey, it's never a dud when you're calling Denise Sparks and Sparks Junk Removal, because you know what I think's cool is you're working with somebody that just loves to work, that's just so passionate about serving their community. And it's never a dud when you pick up that phone and you say, "Denise, I need the queen of junk because my neighbors are already getting ready to report me to the city. This hot tub's been broken down for 4 months. I don't know what to do. My basement's full of junk. I need it all cleared out." And you know, for 30 years and for the next 30, she's already done just that. She shows up to your house. Her and her A-plus team take care of all of the stress for you, and they do it in a compassionate way and in an eco-friendly way too. That's why I think Sparks across the board is just fantastic. I mean, this eco-friendly way that they have of, you know, knowing, hey, if a bunch of furniture came out of a house because of, you know, maybe it was a hoarder situation, you name it, maybe they're just cleaning a bunch of stuff out and they said, "I'll throw it out with it." Well, they aren't going to take that to the dump. They take it over to their warehouse, they clean it up a little bit, and they make sure it's available for a cheaper I believe a cheaper purchase for all of us. So it's a little bit of some more, you know, eco-friendly ways of getting all of our junk, you know, cleared out, plus helping us help ourselves. All of you people that are younger out there, listen, okay? You and I had big plans of having that 95-inch television on the wall, that wraparound couch. We were going to just do it all, right? Well, guess what? Furniture's expensive, and if you're already moving into your first apartment, maybe you're moving into your 15th, you know that you need more things. Always reach out to Sparks Junk Removal about that warehouse inventory and see how you can maybe find your next piece of furniture and really tie the room together without breaking your bank, because this isn't New York City and it doesn't need to cost $2 million for a coffee table. You get my point here? Now, Denise Sparks has taken on the big boys, and she is doing weekly trash service for the region. And you know what? My parents haven't looked back yet. They're saving a couple of bucks, and there's so many other people that tell me all the time. I have never been happier switching to Sparks, and I know that you will too. You know, what I think's great about Denise Sparks is, guess what? When you call Denise, guess who you get on the phone? Denise. Guess what happens if you send them a message? They respond. They don't tell you, "Oh, well, it's an expedited process, and we'll get you there." They don't worry about that. This is business the way business was always done in this town and kind of got away from, but not anymore. Now that Sparks is back doing weekly trash service, you're ready to go. Go to sparksjunkremoval.net. Fill out the contact form where you put your address in, and then the Queen of Junk's giving you a phone call, and all of a sudden, all your trash worries are gone. that quick. There's a reason those purple and yellow trash cans are mating like bunny rabbits, popping up all over the 618. And just tell Denise whenever you get on the phone with her that you know who sent you over her way. That's Sparks Junk Removal or sparksjunkremoval.net. We'll take a quick break, come back right at 10 o'clock for top of the hour news on this Tuesday morning.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back. 10 o'clock on the dot on this Tuesday, the 9th day of July. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show, and here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Sam and Delilah in Alton has been renamed to Romantics, but the service, products, and expertise remains unchanged. Located at 1320 East Broadway, the store now uses the corporate name Romantics while maintaining its branding as the softer side of sexual wellness. Representative Nikki emphasized the store's focus on customer comfort and providing a safe space for sexual exploration. Nikki also founded the Riverbend Sexual Wellness Facebook group and is hosting a sexual wellness workshop on July the 14th to address topics like consent and sexual aftercare. The store aims to combat the misconceptions about adult stores and promote overall well-being through open dialogue. Also in the news today, Leah Baycoat, who began her writing journey as a child to cope with a skin disorder, joined us on the show just a few weeks ago, and she's set to premiere her show Honeysuckle Summer Nights at the Alton Amphitheater on August the 3rd. Baycoat's career in writing and production took off after a successful debut in a gravel parking lot. And her latest show, produced by Three Purple Coats Productions, is an extension of her project, Honeysuckle Love. It will feature acts like Jada Moore, the Jared Hennings Band. Baycoat encourages creatives to trust in their gifts and find inspiration in everyday life as well. Tickets are $15 and are available at various locations around the Riverbend. Jeanette Shorefield, a dedicated educator and poet, has published her first book, The Calling Tray, an inspirational journey. Shorefield, who has been writing poems since high school, draws on her faith and experiences in education to create this unique poetry journal. Published through Soul Sunshine LLC, the book intertwines poems with journal prompts addressing themes like education, religion, anxiety, and hope. Shorefield describes her poetry as a coping mechanism that often comes to her fully formed. She hopes her book will inspire readers and their own paths of self-discovery and healing. The Calling Tree is available on Amazon. Registration, just talked about this earlier today. Registration is now open for this year's 16th annual Alton Miles for Meso 5K Run and 3K Fun Run Walk, hosted by Simmons Hanley Conroy and the Metro Tri Club of Edwardsville. The event, benefiting the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization, or the ADAO, will take place on Saturday, September 21st, just before National Mesothelioma Awareness Day on September 26th. The race begins at 9 a.m. near Simmons, Hanley, and Conroy's headquarters in Alton. Registration fees vary, and participants receive a race packet with a t-shirt and a medal. Virtual participation is also available. At 10:04, let's take a look at your weather. At 72 degrees, it feels like 76. Just a note, after I botched the first time I read through this, that the flood watch has been issued at 2 a.m. today. It will run until 4 a.m. on July the 10th. Rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are expected within the watch area, with locally heavier amounts, which will lead to flash flooding with the rising of local rivers. So just be mindful of that. There is the watch out there. Today, periods of rain, some of them will be heavy from tropical rainstorm barrel. Watch for flooding. Tonight, rain from tropical rainstorm barrel. This evening, cloudy, breezy, late. There could be flooding in some areas. Temperatures will only reach 73 degrees today, drop down to 65 overnight, rain throughout the day. On Wednesday, a high of 85 degrees, a low of 64 with a 84% chance of spotted showers. On Thursday, a 40% chance of rain, a high of 84 degrees, yet again, a low of 66. And on Friday, another 40% chance of rain, a high of 87 degrees, a low of 70. And on Saturday, a high of 90, a low of 70 degrees with a 57% chance of rain. You can stay up to date in real time all the time by going over to RiverBender.com/weather. Click on that interactive radar where you can see all of the details of rain coming in, of thunderstorms, of electricity in the area. It's very comprehensive and a great resource for all of you to kind of keep up and in the know when it comes to our fun weather patterns that await us in the summer. While I have you too, and before I send you to SkyCam, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that Hainer Library is amazing. You know, you need your library card. You can unlock the door to so many things. You know what, Hainer Library, what I think's cool is that no matter what your interests are, there's not just 1, 2, 3. There's a handful of things for you to go do at the library. The events they put on throughout the community, the educational programming at the Genealogy and Local History Library where you are discovering your family's roots right here in the 618. It goes on and on. You got a summer, fun night coming up with the family, with the kiddos. Maybe you're bringing the whole family together. You just had 4th of July, but you're doing another one before school starts in August. Hear me out. Go to the Library of Things. Use your library card, which you should already have because you're getting ad-free, for free streaming with Biblio Plus and so many more things, the Creative Bug app, you name it. But go over to the Library of Things. Pick out those outdoor activities that you know you're only going to play once, and then you got to take them back to Walmart. You got to fight that person in the customer service line because they're not losing that $80. You know what I'm saying? So go over to the Library of Things. Check it out there. You bring it back. Boom. Now the next person can use it. I love everything Hainer does. Plus, don't forget about the Seed Library. That's available to patrons as well. HainerLibrary.org. That's HainerLibrary.org. And get your library card today. Let's take a look at downtown Alton, and we'll come back, and we'll talk to Kathryn Chapman right after this on RiverBender.com.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Welcome back. 10:12, a little bit of change. Kathryn Chapman on the line. Good morning and happy Tuesday to you.
Good morning.
Well, this is really, really cool. Kathryn, I really appreciate you making this work today so we can get this information out from the Center of American Archaeology up in Kampsville. Wildclay Ceramics Workshop taking place in just a month, August 8th through the 11th. This is really, really cool, Kathryn.
It is. A lot of people seem to show interest in this, and I first started doing this when I began working at the Center for American Archaeology 8 years ago. I was teaching kids how we find clay along creek beds and how we harvest it and work it into pots, just as people did in ancient times.
This is so cool, and you take me through just that first interaction when you guys first decided to do this, Kathryn, and you decided let's go ahead and teach the kids how to do this. What were some of just the feedback? What were some of those insights? Did they just grab right into this and love it?
Okay, well, first off, this is something the CAA has taught long before I came here 8 years ago. Is when I first encountered it.
Right.
And yes, kids, when we take kids out into the creek, I have had many a time when they are nervous about getting dirty or the bugs or any of that. And I've literally come back with groups of kids soaking wet and covered in clay.
I love it.
They immerse themselves into the experience. They love doing it. Then they make their pots. They proudly take them home. And what they make isn't even the fired finished stuff. We only air dry it because of the shortened field trip time. Our workshop is going to be much more in-depth and cover much more of the skill and nuance of making pots to finished projects so that people will have really beautiful things when they're done.
And, you know, Kathryn, if you could overview this 4-day Wildclay Ceramic Workshop, what can we expect? But before we truly go into that, too, I would like to ask you, too, how was this able to be funded? Was there a grant? Was there something we needed to highlight here on the Daily Show today?
Excellent, yes. This has been partially funded through the Two Rivers Art Council grant. It's a great organization that helps to bring more art-based, public, interactive opportunities to our area, which is more rural, of course, so we don't have as many opportunities for that. So we are very grateful for them. And I always forget the other part. It's the Illinois Council, which is also part of that. So a friend of mine had told me about them a few years ago, and they have been very graciously supporting our various different activities where we've brought artists to our archaeology day in previous years, and then they're doing this year.
Well,
go ahead,
Kathryn. I just before we go into the event as well, could you overview the Center for American Archaeology for the folks down here in Alton that may have never gone up? This is a wonderful spot up in Kampsville.
Certainly, yes. The Center for American Archaeology was founded in 1953. The main person known for that is Stuart Strever, and it has operated on a mission of promotion of education, research, and public outreach in the field of archaeology since then. Most people will have known us for the Coster site era excavation, which was about a decade of excavation on a very specific site, offered a lot of information to the archaeological record for the area, but we have done hundreds of excavations during that time and since that time. For a while, we had a contract crew which went out and did work when you have roadways or buildings going up. It is required by law to do what's called cultural resource management. So that's when archaeologists go in first to see if there's anything that will be destroyed or disturbed from the archaeological record before those buildings and roads and pipelines and whatever go in. And we at one time we had that crew. We don't anymore. And then they shifted, and this is all before my time, so this is just a brief overview, but they shifted to focusing more heavily on the field schools in the summer. So that's primarily what we do now. We have a number of field schools, one for high school, one for college age, and then there's some focused area field schools that are offered as well, one on geophysical, one on bioarchaeology. Then the area that I've covered more myself since I've been here is the younger children. So I do field trips for grade schools in the spring and fall mostly, and then over the summer I've had a day camp, and I've started library programs where I go and do a book reading and an activity in libraries throughout the state.
That's really that sounds fantastic, Kathryn. It seems like this is something you're very passionate about, especially to get those younger children out there and really get their hands, in the dirt a little bit, and to get out in nature and just educate them. I'm sure that's got to be a priceless part of the job.
It is. I do love sharing this with kids because it isn't just the excavation part, but it's the studying of humans and humans throughout time. Those are all our ancestors, and recognizing all of our similarities helps us to approach new things and new people with more open eyes and open minds.
That's a great point. And now on top of all of this, with the workshop that's coming up, this Wildclay Ceramics Workshop, I got to ask you right off the bat before we go into the overview and go through the days and all of those great details, can we find clay right in our creek bed?
Typically, yes. Illinois is loaded with clay. At one time, I think it was there were like 63 different potters that businesses that existed in Illinois, and it's because of the way the glaciers left the soil and stuff after they receded. So the glaciers were part of how that got left. And I'm not a geologist, so I'm terrible about explaining that.
It sounded good to me.
Okay, but yeah, thanks for the glaciers. We have all these clay deposits. So even kids who've come here from more of the local area with my day camp, they're like, oh yeah, we get clay from the creek. And kids will naturally just play in the dirt and they'll make things if it has that plasticity that clay exhibits. So I think naturally humans will play with those things.
And, as we're talking about this, the workshop starts on August the 8th, and this runs 4 days, correct?
Correct.
And what's the cost to attend all 4 days?
We are only charging $100 per person, mostly as a kind of help to cover the cost of getting the word out and, minor costs. But it's part of our outreach program, so that's why we're keeping the cost really low. We'd love for people to try and take part in this. They have to be 12 years and up, and if they're a 12-year-old, they must have an adult with them. We will offer dorm accommodations for anyone who wishes to make use of that. If they don't, they're free to drive in every day if they'd like, or there are areas for camping, either in a camper or in tents nearby, very nearby. So they can choose that. What we will provide is a field lunch, which is just sandwiches, chips, fruit on a daily basis, and then they'll be responsible for their dinners and breakfast.
But still, $100 for 4 days with accommodations. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you here, Kathryn. I thought when I read the $100, it was $100 per day.
Oh no, yeah, I know it's kind of one of those things we would have loved to have done it 100% free. At the same time, we had we just want to make sure people come committed to taking part and help us cover the cost of the lunches and some basics.
That's just wonderful.
But yeah, we really, really, really want people to come and take part in this and learn. So it's late summer, hopefully before kiddos go back to school. Maybe mom or dad and a child might want to come and do this as a fun family thing. If students who are about to go back into anthropology or ceramics, art stuff, want to give this a go and see what this is like, this is a great opportunity for them, or just anybody who's curious.
Well, and as we're talking about this as well, on August the 8th, what time does the workshop start each day?
We'll start at 9 a.m. each day. We'll break for lunch, and then we plan to wrap up around 2:30 each day. It can vary depending on how the work is going and other things that happen since you're working with the clay and such. The first day, our teacher, who I should introduce, his name is Kyle Bird. He is a ceramicist I met at a primitive skills gathering, and he's an excellent teacher. I was very impressed with his ability. He was teaching kids all the way through adult, and he's very good at disseminating the information so that everyone can understand what he's saying. He is very environmentally aware and friendly, so he is cautious and will instruct on when to harvest clay and when to not touch it in a creek, because those things can impact the environment and how water flows and things like that. So you got to be very mindful of those things. And he's skilled. He has.
We just lost Kathryn there. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll get Kathryn back on the show there. My apologies, folks. That's why we don't do phone-in interviews, and we're having a little bit of some technical difficulties too on the lower third. So why don't we take a brief pause? We'll come back and we'll get reset right after this.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Heck of a Tuesday with this technical stuff. Kathryn Chapman is back on the line after we had a little bit of a disconnection there. My apologies to you there, Kathryn.
Oh, no problem.
It's been an interesting day with all the.
It definitely has.
And I just think This is so cool, Kathryn, because honestly, you're giving, you guys at the Center of American Archaeology are giving, so many individuals with, kids, parents, people of all ages to come out and just be a part of this. And, day one, this pot making basics, we were talking about that before. I don't know what happened and we got disconnected. Could you fill me in on what day one looks like?
Sure. Yes. So people, of course, will show up and get an idea of who the instructor is, Kyle Bird. And then he is going to come with prepared clay that he's already worked with so that they will learn the basic skills of making a coil pot. And the purpose of this on day one is to make sure it gets done and we'll have time to dry so we can fire it on the final day. And also, it gives you an idea of what the goal is. So if you're working with clay that's already prepared, you'll know what you're aiming for from when you go back to the beginning process of harvesting it. So day two, we'll be harvesting it. So we're going to go out in our local area, show people where we find the clay, do the harvesting, and then process it so that it is ready to be used in a pot just as we did on day one. So we take it from that ultra first step to ready to use clay. The third day is actually going to be a little bit of a down day, not as much activity. We may actually, depending on what participants want to do, we can work with some more clay. We can go look at other areas to find more clay. It's a day that we've built into the schedule so that we will have time to let the pots dry for really good firing. Otherwise, they might explode and have more problems. Oh. But we are also going to provide on that day a presentation by a local ceramicist. Her name is Susan Bostwick. She's out of the Edwardsville area. And her friend, Aileen, who is an archaeologist, the two of them have worked together to try and figure out ways to determine where clay deposits used in prehistoric vessels have originated. So they've talked to some of our visitors before, and we're really excited to have them back. So that'll be a fun addition to this whole thing. That talk is actually going to be open to the public. So anybody, even if they're not taking the workshop, will be available to and come hear that. Pardon me. And then the final day is probably going to be about a half day, and it's just going to be firing the pots. So that's Sunday, and then gives people time to get home and kind of reintegrate into their own lives before the week starts.
I got to ask you, Kathryn, have you ever had a bad firing of pots? Personally, like
myself, personally, well, yeah, because I haven't done much firing, but when I took Kyle's class at the Primitive Skills Gathering, the dish I made actually broke during firing.
Oh, wow. Well, and what I just think is so cool about this, I know that you guys all just celebrated 70 years of archaeology, education, research, and outreach up in Kampsville, and we're going on year 71 this year, correct?
Correct. So in September, we'll have hit 71.
How important is it for the entire organization, across the board, to have workshops, to have this type of outreach? Because to me, just from hearing hearing you speak the last couple of minutes on our conversation, it seems like this outreach component is very vital for your guys' mission.
It is. It super is. And the last few years in particular, because we have a museum, but as many who know us will know, it's been closed since 2019 because of the flood. So it's been pretty much on my shoulders in many ways to continue outreaching. I go to many events, such as the Earth Day in the spring. Trying to think of the other ones, but when I get a chance, I've gone down to the farmers market and had demonstrations and let people throw spears. And it's really important that we let people know that archaeology is important. Knowing our past is important, and these skills that people have had since the very earliest people are also important. They're fundamental to who we are as humans.
100% over. And, I didn't realize, with the flooding in 2019 that affected that. I was in St. Louis doing radio at the time. And Kathryn, how has it been just, the last couple of years since the flooding, 5 years later, as you're, trying your best to keep spreading the word? What are some ways that maybe folks can help share the message? Is there are you guys pretty active on social media where we could help share, or maybe say, hey, you need to call the Center of American Archaeology down for an educational workshop with the students? What can we do to help you?
Well, they're more than welcome to visit our Facebook page. I will admit we are not super active on social media because We have a smaller staff, and social media takes time.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And as a person who doesn't like to do social media in her personal life,
Oh, yeah. Same here. Same here.
it makes it a little harder to want to get on there. But we do share things. So when they see our post, if they like us and follow us, they can share when we do share for our events. We have other free events that occur, like in October, we'll also have a nap-in for those who might like stone tools and stone working more than clay.
Yeah.
That is during the Old Settlers Days here in Kampsville, but we'll be at the Macaulay Heritage Project south of town on Friday and Saturday, where flint knappers will gather, and you can bring artifacts. We'll have artifact ID. So that's something. And if there are teachers or librarians or other sorts of educators that would like to bring our services to their students and their participants, they can easily reach out and check out our website, look for past Lifeways programs, or call us directly, and we can talk about what we can offer. We also will do talks for adults at libraries, too, so we're not limited to just children. If there's anybody interested in that, just give general talks on different archaeology topics or about the current excavation, stuff like that.
That's really cool. And Kathryn, as we have been talking about the Wildclay Ceramics Workshop that is coming up August the 8th through the 11th, I wanted to ask you, out of all the services that you render at the Center for American Archaeology and all of the different outreach that you do and all of your different day-to-day tasks, where do you find the most joy? Is there a certain topic? Is wild clay, is that something that really fascinates you? Are you more into stone work? What really fits your fancy?
Oh, boy. When I was in school, I actually studied zooarchaeology, which is the study of the animal remains. So I do get fascinated looking at animal bones. But I would say I probably have found a love for flint knapping. I'm a modestly decent beginner. I'm not. I understand it really well, but the skill level I don't practice as much as I should. But I'm getting better. Every year I get better. And I also really love working with plant fibers, making cordage. The clay fascinates me. The final product fascinates me. But one of the secrets about me is I don't like the feel of clay on my hands.
Same here.
So,
Thank you for saying that.
So I will do it enough to teach the kids, and then I'm usually washing my hands very quickly and encouraging them to keep work. But because kids love that, most of the kids just love that, and I'm glad they do. But that's one of the things. Nope, I just don't care for it. But I do love ceramics and finished ceramics. So, but the fibers are definitely a little bit more my speed.
How many spots remain for the Wildclay Ceramics Workshop?
Currently, we believe we have 11 spots open right now.
Perfect. And if we can get, hey, Kathryn, I'm feeling good. If we can get 11 people signed up today, we're in really good business August the 8th.
Yes, that would be terrific. The sooner the better, because then we can assure people that we are prepared for them, and then they know that their spot is secure. We will take reservations up to 1 week before, which is August 1st, but the more we know of how many we're going to have in advance, so please don't be a last-minute person.
Please don't do this to Kathryn.
It's hard on teachers because then they can't prepare and know that I'm going to have a full class or not. So
well, and you're right, because it's not like a math class where you can always have an extra calculator on your drawer. You're preparing for getting clay prepared and all of that, and definitely need to know. So if you could, folks, if you know this is of interest for you, your family, your little ones over 12 and older, of course, you can go online and get those spots booked immediately. And Kathryn, how big of a spot do you guys have up in Kampsville? How many acres?
I couldn't even tell you because everything's spread out. I have not a clue.
Well, it's just amazing to me, Kathryn, because this is I've just been on your website, and just the last couple of days since I spoke with you about the workshop, it's just learning about all of these really great things that you guys have done up there, and then the opportunities that await us. I got to come up and see you.
Please do, and I would encourage anybody who's interested in the excavation work that we're doing this summer. We are in the middle of the field school. We've got a few, like 1 more week of high school field school after this, and then the college age, the adult field school starts. We do offer tours of the excavation, but you must call the office to schedule those to make sure that when they're going to actually be in the field at that time and that somebody's there to handle the tour.
Absolutely. And as we get back, Kathryn, we have a couple of minutes left. If you could, elevator pitch for us the Wildclay Ceramics Workshop, so that way we can make sure we got all of those details we needed.
Okay. Come join us August 8th through 11th for a wild clay workshop where you will learn from artist Kyle Bird how to harvest wild clay, prepare it for use, turn it into a finished ceramic vessel, and fire it so that it stays in that shape, and you can take it home and enjoy it for years to come. It's ages 12 and over, and you may stay in our housing if you wish, or come just drive up every day. And I guess that's it.
I just think
it's a lot of fun. It's a great learning time, and it's just something different.
Well, and honestly, I just think it's really cool that there's the grants out there and there's a good partnership there, and it just seems very solid all the way through, Kathryn. And thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for making this work. And I'm glad that we were able to finally get to talking about the Wildclay Ceramics Workshop coming up August 8th through the 11th for only $100. 11 spots remain. Get yours now by going online to CAA-archaeology.org, or you can give them a phone call at the office. Kathryn, you have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Thank you. You too.
Well, thank you. We'll take a quick break at 10:36. More of our daily show. Hit you next.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, 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 blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Welcome back. Sorry, I'm just wallowing to Taralei today. It's all good. Don't worry about me. You know, I'll be fine eventually.
It'll be okay, man.
No, it won't, Taralei. It'll never be okay. Anyway, how are you, Ben?
And the emo look with my hair over my face right as you asked that. Like, I've been fine.
Oh, God. An emo CJ would be an interesting goddamn thing.
Would be hilarious. You know what? Instead of slicking back your hair, like, get it.
Like, what would that emo look like? Because I'm a pompadour guy. There's no emo pompadour.
Well, you'd have to brush it down so it's like bangs over your eyes, like, you know, so the side over your eyes, and then wear all black if you got that. Yeah, wow. You know, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Throw on some guy liner.
I like that. I've never heard that before. I like some guy liner.
I guess that would be an emo CJ. I don't know.
Everything's falling apart today. My guests are moving around from Friday, you know, and we haven't even. I just got an email. I'm like, what am I doing in my life here? But
my gosh,
we were supposed to talk about cannabis in this rescheduling.
Yes.
So I'm curious about this for one or two fronts.
Right.
Number one is, you know, you heard the previous administration, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to, you know, are we getting there?
We're making some steps, but you know, this is, so that's, I wanted to get on here and talk about, you know, a lot of people may have seen in the news that like, there's been a recommendation to reschedule cannabis. So cannabis, I've seen a lot of misinformation out there about this. People talking about it being like, oh, it's already been legalized. That is not what is happening, and nothing has actually happened yet. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on, clarify that for you guys.
What's this mean?
And so what it means is right now cannabis is a Schedule 1. I know I've talked about that before. It means that right now it is considered one of the most dangerous drugs. Schedule 1 drugs include like meth, heroin, you know, these are the ones that are, so Schedule 1 is drugs that are dangerous, highly addictive potential with no medicinal benefit. And then as you go down the schedule, you know, higher numbers, so Schedule 2, Schedule 3, they are still, you know, maybe they have a medicinal benefit or something. And so that's what they're recommending. The Department of Health and Human Services recommended that they reschedule to Schedule 3 instead of Schedule 1. So if this passes, right now it's been submitted to the DEA, and they're in the public comment period. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit, but right now the public comment period is open until July 22nd, and after that the DEA will continue to review this before making their decision.
Yeah, and now what I'm looking and getting into here is, you know, it's not going to legalize marijuana.
No.
But it would make a pretty significant mile marker, at least, towards reducing the federal limitations.
It would be a very big step forward.
Now, is this when they can start understanding its therapeutic processes better too?
So I believe Schedule 3 is, yes.
Okay.
It will state that there is some known medical benefit, and it would make it, schools, laboratories would be able to access more funding to be able to do more research on cannabis.
Well, and I'm, just looking at some of this stuff, and, under the CSA, when determining that a drug should be controlled, the Secretary of the Homeland Security and the Attorney General have to consider 8 factors. Okay, let me go through these factors. Can we go through them?
Go for it.
The drug's actual or relative potential for abuse, number 1. Number 2, scientific evidence of its pharmacological effect. If known, the state of current scientific knowledge regarding the drug or other substance, its history and current pattern of abuse, the scope, duration, and significance of that abuse, what, if any, risk there is to public health, is it psychic, it's psychic or physiological dependency. That was, I like psychoactive better than psychic. I didn't like how they labeled that. Liability, whether the substance is an immediate precursor of a substance already controlled. Now that's kind of, I don't like the key terms there. That's kind of
the whole scheduling
thing.
System is a little. It needs. I personally think it needs to be updated as a whole. It's still. The wording is so strange.
Because to me, these are all gray area questions. I mean, not to cut you up, but I mean, what's the risk to public health? I mean, if someone smokes pot and gets behind the wheel of their car, that is a risk to public health and safety. But what's that mean? Define what public health is.
Right. And that's the thing. So much of this is so broad, and that's where, it is good. Like right now, we've got it. It is, the DEA is open to public comments. So that will all contribute. So whatever you feel, whether you're watching and you're like, oh, I hate weed, or if you are really, if you think that this is important, you have people in your life, who use cannabis, it's very important to make a comment during this period.
Now I have a question for you that you might, I don't know if you've looked into, I'm sure you have, but let's say this moves and they do move to reschedule and now we go to 1 to 3.
Right.
It's a Schedule 3 narcotic or drug. Do you still get the same severe penalty if you were in like a pretty, a state that doesn't have any of those cannabis-friendly laws?
You wouldn't get federal penalties, but it would still be up to the state.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So some states might change things, might change what would happen, depending on it. But as of it would only be affecting federal. It should also make it easier for cannabis companies to use banks. So right now, still a lot of dispensaries are all cash only still because. With it being at this level on the schedule. And I'm not sure, I think there would still need to be some other process before that would actually take effect, even if it is rescheduled. But, that's something that would also help with that. So not only will it help with more people getting access, it won't be as heavily penalized in states where it's still, not legalized. And it... I'm listening. Sorry.
No. So let me ask you this, just because I'm just kind of I'm folling along here now and understand because whenever you sent me that text, we were going so fast. I'm like, sounds great. See ya.
I reached out and I was like, I want to talk about this, and he was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, great, wonderful. It's a good thing to talk about, though. But so what I'm reading here and what I'm kind of just seeing, it's. To reschedule marijuana applies to substances meeting the statutory definition of marijuana. Yes. So does that mean Delta 9? Does that mean all those?
So Delta 9 is the one that's cannabis that is legal. So that's what you would get at dispensaries. Delta 8 is Delta 8 is the synthetic and usually where we're seeing it legally sold is by hemp.
Yeah.
So no, it would not fall under the same. So Delta 8 and all that is a separate thing, and there is a lot going on in that now where they're potentially but that is actually Delta 8 is a whole separate thing. All the synthetics, because it's considered hemp instead of cannabis. And so this only affects cannabis. It doesn't affect.
Are you a Delta 8 person?
Not personally.
Yeah.
I have had a couple of different Delta 8 products that I really liked, that I enjoyed, but most Delta 8 products tend to either well, they almost always give me like a really sharp headache. And then they also tend to get me uncomfortably high if I take too much, to a point where like I don't feel like I can balance it out with CBD or something.
Yeah.
So, and it is, there's so much confusion around that too. Like a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's naturally occurring in the plant. Yes, but in such small levels that it's negligent. It's not, and it's
not very
when you're
regular.
buying it legally, if it's done right, which unfortunately that's another thing.
That's
Both
what I
hemp
was
and
talking about.
cannabis, it's not. There's no standardized form of testing, and so. Yeah, sometimes even when you go to the dispensary, you want to look into the companies that you're purchasing from. You want to make sure that they're using good labs to send their, labs who are doing things right, and making sure there's no metals. They're not just checking the levels of cannabinoids, whether you're buying hemp or cannabis products. You want to make sure they're doing thorough testing and making sure there's not anything else in it.
Well, I heard that this Delta 8 can be pretty nasty because it's not the Delta 8, it's the way that some of these products are getting made.
It's the way that it's made.
Yeah.
And so, it can be found in such small amounts in the plant, but when you're finding it in the larger amounts in the flour that you're finding at gas stations or head shops or anything, what it is they have to do this process where they're converting the CBD pulled out of hemp, and it's a very complicated process. I am not educated enough to explain it, but usually there's been a lot of instances where Delta 8 products, when they come out of it, they have a lot of metals or toxins from the process that are left behind. And so that's where there have been a lot of issues with Delta 8 now sending people to the hospital just because, so that's something,
are there states still really fighting this?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Even Illinois has had a few things go through the state government this year about Delta 8 and hemp products.
Well, no, I mean, I get Delta, but I'm talking about,
you mean cannabis?
Yeah, like cannabis in general.
Yeah.
Are there states still
I lived
fighting
in
this?
Tennessee.
Really?
Tennessee's fighting it hard.
Okay, come on. We all know one of those good old boys.
I know, because it's so interesting because, that's where I lived before I moved back in 2019. And so I still have a lot of friends there. It's still even if I were to go back to visit, I would not be bringing anything with me, because Tennessee is still real strict about it. You can absolutely find it. They even, I don't know if they're still operating, but there have even been they called it a cannabis restaurant, which to me blew my mind because of how strict the laws are in Tennessee, especially then when you look at the menu and it's all Delta 8 stuff. It's hemp. It's but it was in Nashville and it was and so I was like, all right, and I was kind of mad about it because I was looking into it. I was like, and the guy running it was some rich white guy who moved in from California, and he was like, oh, I've got all this experience, but then what he's using is hemp and Delta 8, and and the only reason he's allowed to operate and do it in that manner is because he's some rich white guy. Like, if it were a black guy there in Nashville, I assure you he would have been shut down immediately. I get
what you're saying, but we can't really say that on the show because we don't know for sure.
Okay, you can't say that.
No, but I lived there.
I worked in those halls.
I get what you're saying, but
in Nashville. So,
but we don't know the circumstance either because in all seriousness,
we don't know but. And I don't know if this guy's still operating or anything, but I was like, it's very, Tennessee's very, it's a battleground for a lot of stuff right now. Anyway, and cannabis is still one of them. But so yes, a lot of the states that aren't medically legal are still fighting it. Yes.
So how long do people have, and how do they comment on this?
So we have until July 22nd. Okay. So that's a little over a week still at this point. If you want to learn more about it before you would make a comment, best option I can tell you to do is go to the Last Prisoner Project's website, actually. So if you go to lastprisonerproject.org/rescheduling, they have so much information broken down on their website. And they also, I want to know, and this is personally what my belief is too, they are encouraging people to use the comment period to note that, they do want it rescheduled, but really what they're pushing for is descheduling.
Yeah.
Having it, because that would help so much more. That would open up so many more barriers for us in terms of research. It would make things a lot easier for getting people out of prison. Like, the thing is, one of the big things about this is, even if it's rescheduled, it's not without the president making some sort of action as well, or without us getting some other laws passed. It's not going to do anything for the people who have already been affected for this by this.
I get it,
so they, there will still be people in prison. There will still be people with charges. It's not going to drop anyone's charges. It's not going to stop people from continuing to be arrested or charged. It just slightly lowers the level of what charges you would be receiving.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Well, I just, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because I'm reading this one too. That you kind of lists a little bit. It's almost the same, kind of identical, different site though. And it's just amazing to me though that this is just, think of all the resource that is being spent on this, good, for it or against it.
Yeah.
When there are so many other issues that we could be putting our resources and thoughts and money behind, and we're arguing over whether or not cannabis should be a class 1 or D. It should be descheduled, number 1. But number 2, every one of these people. You can't tell me that not these opponents, and especially like you said, down in Tick, because that is a scary place with pot. You don't go down there with it.
No.
But you can't tell me those good old boys, Taralei,
I know,
weren't smoking pot their entire time in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be funny about it, but it's the same thing.
I know some of those legislators are stepping outside the Capitol and toking up. Like, absolutely.
It's just ridiculous that this is like, for all of the things. I was driving through Tennessee. I was driving through Tennessee, and the guy's internet or campaign platform was not like fiber. It was just to bring broadband internet to the county.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no.
There's a lot of that down there.
But I'm thinking, you guys don't even have internet in half of this state, but you're more focused on this. Makes sense. Taralei, always good talk. What else do we do for this? Do we just?
So like I said, lastprisonerproject.org/rescheduling has a lot of information, breaks it all down very well. And then they have, if you're not sure what to say, I think they have a sample, things you can copy and paste. But so if you want to go directly to submit your public comment, you'd go to www.regulations.gov. So that's regulations.gov, and you're going to look up docket number DEA-1362, and then you can type your comment directly or attach a file for longer comments. And that's open until July 22nd. And that's, so DEA-1362, that docket is about rescheduling cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. So, and if you want it, you can also, if you'd rather not do something online, you can also do it via mail, and all that information is going to be broken down on regulations.gov or even on Last Prisoner Project's website, which I told you guys about earlier. Yeah. So,
Well, always keeping us updated, Taralei. I appreciate it. And
for your mother, got to keep you guys educated on everything going on with
I just
my
can't believe
plants.
But I'm sure I'm like so many other people that are like, I can't believe this is happening. It's time to move on type of thing. It's just my thought.
Right.
Just move on from the damn subject. There's 800 fights. Pick another one.
Right. Oh yeah. Especially because the thing is with. A lot of people like to talk about there's not been enough studies and stuff, but there have. I have an entire degree. I went back to SLU and got an entire degree on cannabis science. We had everything from how to grow the plant to the pharmacology of how the plant interacts with our bodies. We do have this information. We do know that it has medical benefit. So at the very least, yes, absolutely, it needs to be rescheduled from Schedule 1. But there's so much more we could do, really. As a plant that's very safe, it should be removed from the schedule, and people should stop being arrested and having their lives ruined over it. So
there you go. 100% agree. I will see you back here on Wednesday. We got Lacey McDonald, we got Brent Walker, and we got so much more. So join me then, won't you? On that note, have a great day and try your best to stay out of jail.